So, as we are talking about not being willing to change or negligence or being unaware, sometimes you got to learn. You don't have to know everything before you enter into relationship. Nobody expects you to be Mr. Perfect, that Mr. Know Everything. But two of you got to teach each other. Be willing to learn what you don't know. Probably you don't know how to do dishes. Learn it. Unfortunately, you didn't know it, from your home, but it's still not yet late. But if you say, no, I'm not going to learn it, or you don't know how to cook, learn it. You can teach each other. That is one thing in this aspect. But let's just look at the destructive approach to conflict. Destructive approach. Remember, we said conflict is natural in human relationship. But there are approaches that will make it more destructive or constructive for your relationship. So, why conflict in itself is neither good nor bad, the way in which it is handled can be destructive or constructive. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So, these two perspectives is very, very important. The choice is yours. Am I going to take the route that will lead me to a very destructive relationship? Or am I going to take the route that will help me to live a constructive relationship? So the first one there that is very destructive is denial. So denying or failing to deal with conflictual behavior. I stopped there. Remember, I told you two things that really cause conflict is differences in opinion and differences in behavior. So now, the denial to deal with conflictual behavior can definitely become destructive in every intimate relationship. Denial of conflict is like sweeping dirt, dirty things under a rug. Sometimes, put it under the rug. We don't have to deal with it. Let's just presume it doesn't exist. So it only appears to eliminate the problem. Yeah. It appears that we don't have to talk about it. Let's just presume we are the best couple. But it doesn't eliminate the problem. So it does nothing about the behavior that brought about the conflict in the first place. Because it's a behavior or opinion that brings the conflict in a relationship. So denial doesn't change it at all. So the conflict producing behavior must be willing to change. Must be willing to change for a desired outcome. Must be willing to change. Sometimes what you got doesn't get you to where you're supposed to be. Then you have to reroute. That's what it means to change in order to get a desired outcome. So instead of denial, then you got to go with acceptance over denial. To deny that, no, I don't believe my behavior is not causing this problem. It's just talk about it. We're going to help you, understand how denial could be a very huge problem and how acceptance could lead you gradually to your destination. So the destination of every relationship is happiness, remember. That's the destination. But it takes a long journey. But it depends on one's way of accepting things will make your journey a little bit more smooth. But denial makes the journey very, you're like struggling. You're like always, trying to go up, but it's not going because that is what denial Because when there is denial, definitely there will be argument. Endless argument. Because someone doesn't want to see things the way it is. So denial is destructive not only at the relational level, but also at the personal level. Since those who deny the reality of conflict may also be forced to deny their feelings of hurt. They may deny their feelings of disappointment, and they may also deny their feelings of anger. So denial is very, very dangerous. If both of you really want to have a good relationship, be willing to look at the reality. Be willing to talk about it. So, a common form of denial is disengagement. Denial takes you to the place of disengagement. So in this case of disengagement, any of you or both of you may avoid conflict by sidestepping sensitive and controversial issues, pretending they are not there. So disengagement might be initiated by an outburst of anger, followed by withdrawal. So there is disengagement, then there is outburst of anger, and then there is withdrawal. None of these three things is good for relationship, but that is the consequences of denial. Not willing to talk about it, or easily get angered because why should we be talking about this? So disengagement serves as a barrier to growth in the relationship, in your relationship. It will be a barrier. If you want to go where you supposed to be, and there is denial and there is disengagement, then there is barrier. And there will always be a kind of unresolved conflict that may lead to several crises. So another form, again, let's just talk about another form of denial is what I call disqualification. So it is a quick discounting of one's anger or angry reaction. No, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Really? You don't want to talk? No, I'm fine. I'm fine. So that is what we call disqualification. So disqualifiers tend to cover up angry emotions rather than to admit them. Probably when you are single, you have to deal with things the way you want to deal with it. And you get away with it. It doesn't matter. But now that you want to be married, you don't want to cover up things. Pretend that I'm happy. So, and that can cause a lot of problem in your relationship. So, like the other forms of denial, disqualification is a barrier also to growth and also destructive to your intimate relationship. I hope you get some of all these things. It's a little bit there. But we are trying to, put it in such a way that it will resonate. You don't have to remember everything right now as we are saying it. But your openness is going to help you, because when those moments comes, then you will be able to say, okay, instead of living in denial, what should I do? Instead of disengagement, what should I do? Instead of withdrawal, what should I do? Or disqualification, what should I do? So that is what we are helping you with this class, to help you pay attention. Because if you are not there right now, if there is no conflict, you may not have to worry so much about it. But we are teaching you so that you can store it up somewhere in your life, especially for both of you, to say, if we have problem or conflict in a relationship, we're not going to take the approach of denial.